Hi friends, I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today I'm super excited to talk to you because I'm going to be talking to you about a topic that I really enjoy diving into, and that is astrology. So let's get started. Alright, now to start this video off, I just want to let you guys know that this is sponsored by our incredible friends at Keen. I have sponsored with Keen in the past. If you guys are new to the channel, then welcome. And if you haven't, then I definitely recommend checking out Keen. They've got a very special offer for you, your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. So what is Keen? Keen is an online platform that can introduce you to psychics, astrologers, mediums, anyone that you might want to talk to in the spiritual sphere, and you can ask questions and you can take the time to also just inquire about your gifts. For example, if you do feel like intuitive, you can ask them about what that journey is like. You can speak to clairvoyance, etc., etc. The incredible thing about Keen is that you can actually go through and begin by filling out almost like a little survey to match you up with the best psychic or spiritual reader for your preference, like whatever you're going through that day. If you're feeling happy, you can find a psychic to match that, and you can also disclaim that you would like perhaps the readings to be sugar-coated, or if you just want straight to the truth. This makes it easy to talk to spiritual readers wherever you are in the world and whenever you are in the world. You can see who's online, who's available for a phone call or even a chat. And once you sign up for Keen, you actually get emails on a regular basis about discounts that you can use moving forward on the platform. And also what I found is that there have been spiritual readers on Keen that I've had incredible readings with and made connections with, and you really just feel that when you're hearing their voice on the other end of the phone. Of course, you can have a little text chat or email if you want to with them, but what I found is that if I find someone who connects with me, then I can go back and speak to them again in the future because I trusted them, because I felt a good vibe or a good connection from them. So special thanks to Keen for sponsoring this video, and like I said, you can get your first 10 minutes for $1.99 with the link down below. That's trykeen.com/Zoe. So be sure to take advantage of it if it's something you're interested in. And moving forward, today's video is all about astrology. So if you do feel like you have questions for an astrologer or questions about your chart in general, this could be a great time to take advantage of that. Maybe just take 10 minutes and ask an astrologer more about your sign, or more about purpose or qualities or aspects of you that maybe you would just like some clarity or validation on, because that's what I'm about to get into with the subject of astrology. So personally, I am a Sagittarius. So my sun sign is Sagittarius, and that means that on the calendar, like January, February, March, April, I was born in December and my birthday is December 11th. So I fall as a sun sign Sagittarius. Now I also have a moon sign, and my moon sign is Aquarius. I also have an ascending sign, which is Capricorn. So I'm more recently getting introduced or educated on, I guess you could say, the moon signs and the ascending signs and what they mean. But in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about my journey of how I got into astrology, how I use it, and how I use it to better understand myself as a Sagittarius. So right off the bat, I'll give you guys a few notes, I guess, if you will, about what a Sagittarius is. So a Sagittarius is a December baby, like me, and we are the most optimistic sign of the zodiac. We have a lot of bubbly energy. We are so positive. We are freedom lovers and philosophers. These are aspects that I have never met a Sagittarius who didn't have these aspects about them, or didn't have this essence of freedom, spontaneity, fun, adventure, and optimism. Optimism to the point where, anything less than that we just can't take. And we are a fire sign, so that means our element is fire. We share fire with Leos and Aries as well, so we generally get along quite well with Leos and Aries. I absolutely love being a Sagittarius, I'm not gonna lie. I know we're the most fun on the zodiac. That might be a biased opinion, but I know it's true. Never met a Sagittarius that I didn't like or that I didn't gel with, as well as the other fire signs. I can always tell when I come across a fire sign, because we're like fiery and energetic, and we love to travel and adventure and just talk all things wisdom and philosophy, Moving forward then, about how did I get into astrology and how does one kind of get into that? Because honestly, growing up, it just was kind of like, oh, star signs, this thing that you ask when you're on a date one day. And I honestly didn't really get into it much until my 20s. And I got into it because my amazing roommate, my sister Jen, you guys have met her before, she always used to read the horoscopes on the Georgia Strait. So this is a online article that comes out from an online news place in Vancouver, so called the Georgia Strait, because the Georgia Strait is the body of water between the island and Vancouver. So Jen would always just rave about how on point these horoscopes were for her. When I first moved in with her, I had gotten back from my Euro trip where I was backpacking solo for 2 months. And I decided that because I had a journal that I wrote down almost every day what I was doing, how I was feeling, what I was experiencing. For the first time, this is where I was the most active and had a journal. So I decided that what I would do is go through my journal and also go through the horoscopes. I had a lot of free time at this point, you know. I was the summer off, I was waiting to start university again. I was working, but I had free time. So I decided to go through my journal and compare it to the previous Georgia Strait articles in the horoscopes. And I found so many similarities that were eerie, like to the point where you could not apply this to other signs. And I know that some resistance people have when they are learning about astrology, or they just think, oh, if I am reading this horoscope, that could apply to anyone. Some of them are fluffy like that, but I'm telling you, the Georgia Strait, I'm gonna link it down below if you just want to take a look. See, every Thursday they update with a new one. So I was reading, I was like, wow, this is crazy on point. This knows me. This article knows what I've gone through like all summer and my experiences. And I started to get a little bit intrigued, and then, you know, I started to read it weekly, and then I started to just dive a little bit more into astrology. I had bought a couple books on it, like the Encyclopedia of Birthdays, and I just started to read more about my sign. And I mean, as much as like I might have had crushes and was like curious about their signs, for me to be able to read about how the stars, you know, aligned, I guess you could say, when I was born, and how that has effects on my personality and my ways of being and what I like. And, you know, I've always felt a little bit like an alien, but being able to read about astrology and to understand like, hey, this is just what a Sagittarius is. Like, I seem to feel very different from the people around me, but maybe it's just because like this is how the stars aligned when I was born. So I got some solid validation with that, and that's what kept me kind of interested in astrology. And you guys, if you've seen my tattoos video, you know I have a bow and arrow just under, like on my rib cage, and that just signifies like, yeah, the archer. The Sagittarius' symbol, I guess, is the archer, with the arrow always moving forward. We're always like adventurers and shooting the arrow. We're determined, ambitious. We're always ready and willing to keep going with life and willing to learn. We're never stopping. We're lifelong learners. And the more I read about Sagittarius, the more I fell in love with Sagittarius, and the more it allowed me to fall in love with myself, really, because it was almost a way of acknowledging and validating who I am as a person, and noticing that, you know, if different books were talking about different traits that apparently Sagittariuses are or have, and I could see those in myself, I'm like, wow, I admire that. I admire those qualities of being optimistic and philosophical and always wanting more, and viewing the world and, you know, the map of the world really, and everywhere that you can go as a learning opportunity. I very much admire that, and I very much know that that exists in me. So that's where my journey kept unfolding. And as you guys know, I've been open to you. I talk to psychics, you know, I just told you, like I've talked to psychics on Keen. I'm very much into that. I'm very much into being open to all different aspects of learning about who I am as a person and better understanding myself. I always find it interesting when, you know, you go to a spiritual reader and they can identify with who you are, especially like after they do know your birthday and they know your sign. You know, I don't think any of us are here by random, let's say. And I do think that the stars have a play in that, because the moon has such an effect on us each month, especially like us women, and we, you know, we are so connected to the stars. So I found by understanding that more and more, understanding my chart more and more, it's allowed me to just accept who I am, and not only accept it but love it and feel validated that, you know, I am who I am and I'm unique and I'm special, and that's the way that it is. And diving deeper into astrology, so I know I said I was going to stick to particularly just the sun sign, But for those of you who may know your sun sign quite well, the next place that I would look is, yeah, your moon and ascending signs. How that the moon is your emotions and how the ascending is what you are almost transforming into in your life, just to touch on it briefly. And also one thing that I found very interesting is the Saturn return. So the Saturn return is what happens in between, I guess, a guesstimate here, like 27 to 30, 31. And this is what happens if you are not where you should be in your life. You'll kind of have a type of uprooting and be placed where you're supposed to be. And that's exactly what happened to me this past year. I'm 27, turning 28. You guys know I had a major uprooting where I left Rome, the one place that I thought I was going to live forever. I wanted to live forever at one time, and now I'm back in Canada. And to read more and more and learn more about the Saturn return just allowed me to feel not so alone in my decisions. Not like I felt alone because I knew intuitively I was doing what I was supposed to do, but just being able to understand, like, yes, people go through major shifts, changes, and uprooting, and sometimes it's more than likely that they happen in this span of 27 to 30. And you know, I just find it interesting, the more connections that I can make through the stars into my own life. It's just an interesting subject if you're interested in learning more about it. So if you are interested, like I said, big thanks to Keen for sponsoring this video. There will be the link down below that you guys can get your first 10 minutes for $1.99, which is incredible. Go ahead and talk to an astrologer and get to know your sign a little bit better. Or maybe you are going through that Saturn return and you just want a little bit of validation for feeling uprooted and making big changes in your life. I know you won't be disappointed. Sending you lots of love. Let me know down below, what is your sign and what's your favorite trait about yourself? I look forward to reading the comments. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.